I need you to help me find my son.
Your boy was snooping around some not so nice guys.
Where is my son?
The situation is complicated.
Trust me on this one. Don't make this man angry.
A reward for a job only half done?
A means of preventing them from tracking you by way of your sonic scream, and the job was done to perfection.
I thought the objective was to take down the internet.
Oh no, the objective was to take down the firewall protecting the vault. And Miss Smoke was most adept in complying.
Why couldn't you find a way to do it yourself?
I've been doing this too long to leave trails, Ms. Lance. Much safer to have Ms. Smoke's digital fingerprints on the processor, not mine. And once she had taken down the firewall, I was able to upload a critical piece of code to ArcLight.
What happens now?
Take the next step.
Hey everybody, Deathstroke is back. Let's break this down. If you're finding me for the first time, be sure to subscribe to get everything. There'll be new Flash Ring giveaway stuff at the end of the video too. So we'll start with Deathstroke, then I'll talk about Michael Emerson from last night's episode. The schedule is a little bit weird because the World Series was this week and they also released Thor Ragnarok. So there's just like so much stuff all dropping at the same time. But as you can see, it's going to be a field trip with Oliver and Deathstroke in present day to go rescue his son from a Russian province. The flashbacks will also tease Deathstroke's origin story, how he wound up on the island, and it even looks like we see Billy Wintergreen's Deathstroke mask here because the color is so different from Deathstroke's current version of his costume. So there's a whole bunch of Deathstroke stuff happening in the Arrow universe, and because the Titans TV show is happening and they're doing Deathstroke stuff in the movies, there's a lot of questions about what the future of the character is going to be on Arrow, so I'll talk about that in a second. But most of you probably know that Joseph Wilson is one of Deathstroke's sons from the comics. Grant Wilson is technically the first version of Ravager. Most people know Ravager is Rose Wilson. The TV show did a version of her in Isabel Roshev, so their Ravager was a little bit different. In way back once upon a time, when they sunk the ship in the pilot episode, they intended for Sarah to come back as the Ravager character, but then they ended up changing the plot a whole bunch. Originally, they intended for Deathstroke to be a much bigger villain in season 1. So when they sort of found the show and figured everything out a little bit better, they decided to push Deathstroke to season 2 and become the big villain of that season and made Malcolm Merlyn the big villain of season 1. And then because of that, they also decided to turn Sarah into the first version of the Black Canary. Remember, they just called her the Canary, and the rest is history. But it's always fun to hear what their original plans for the show were way back before season 1. So even though they have all this Deathstroke stuff happening, they have Deathstroke flashbacks, I'm expecting them to still flash to Team Arrow just like a little bit in the episode. But it does seem like most of the episode will focus on this Oliver storyline, which I think is why episode 4, sort of like that big Felicity, Caden James team up, was so different from what you would typically expect an Arrow episode to be. I mean, the episode was called Reversal, so literally it was the roles reversed. Oliver was the man in the chair instead of being the man out on the street. You'll all probably agree that he feels like he will turn into the big villain, just like the way he sounded so devious and so manipulative of Felicity, someone who's supposed to be really smart, but in the episode she even said, "I'm having trouble seeing the things that are right in front of me." Like, it's a very Arrow thing that they make a lot of mistakes early in their hero career, so Felicity is making a lot of Oliver season 1, season 2 mistakes where you don't completely pick up on all the clues right away. So his big villain plot is called ArcLight. It's basically just controlling the internet so that he can turn things on, turn things off, blackmail municipalities, governments, just control pretty much anything that's connected to electronic circuitry. But that's sort of in its early stages, and it sounds like he's going to be able to throw Felicity under the bus because now her fingerprints are on the firewall that needed to be taken down so that he could gain access to all those systems. So he's playing all the characters like fiddles. Oliver doesn't really know what's going on now, but eventually he's going to put the suit back on and it'll be more like classic Team Arrow. Then maybe by the mid-season finale, maybe the second half of the season, then it becomes more of a Team Arrow, Mayor Oliver Queen problem. Because if Caden James is going to be controlling the infrastructure that governs a lot of the services that the city benefits from, then people, like regular people, will start freaking out and it will become a big problem for Mayor Oliver Queen in addition to the Green Arrow, and then obviously you have Black Siren working for him. They also confirmed that he was that person that helped her off the island in episode 1. I think we all thought that, and now it sounds like Richard Dragon is going to be more of the drug dealer, big kingpin type villain, so we'll see if there's any intersection with Caden James and Richard Dragon, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen right away. He's also going to debut in the next couple of episodes too, and we'll learn about the jingle jangle or whatever drug it is that Diggle's taking. If you want to believe the Riverdale theory of everything is connected, like the drug that Killer Frost is taking to balance herself out, and the drug that Diggle is taking to balance himself is all the jingle jangle that they've been selling on the Riverdale TV show. But that's just sort of a running joke because technically Riverdale isn't supposed to be connected to the DC TV shows. But just a reminder that the Deathstroke episode is actually 2 episodes, so it'll be episode 5, and then the week after that, episode 6. Episode 7 of Arrow is going to be like a Thanksgiving type episode, so I don't know if William is going to be in the next 2 episodes, but it's going to be William heavy in episode 7, and that will lead into the crossover episode, because just like previous seasons, episode 8 will be the 4-night crossover of most of the TV shows. Circling back around to Deathstroke stuff in the future, because they confirmed that they're making a Deathstroke solo movie, it makes it harder for them to use the character on the TV show, and eventually they'll probably start using the character on Titans, so it does make it a lot harder for Manu Bennett to come back on Arrow as the character, and he's sort of busy with other TV shows, but I don't think his time as the character is completely done, and there's always the off chance that they might use him as the Deathstroke of Titans when he does eventually pop up there, but that might not be till the 2nd season. It just depends on how hardcore the movie people are about letting the character appear on TV. But Manu did say that he talked to Mark Guggenheim about doing a Deathstroke spin-off TV series, and even though I don't think it would ever happen, they basically confirmed that if they did do something like that, it would have to be on a different network so that it could be extra hardcore, the way you would expect them to do that TV show. It'd be kind of like The Punisher, like you couldn't do that on ABC or CBS or even the CW. Nobody wants to see the CW version of The Punisher. Speaking of which, that series will be dropping in 2 weeks. I'll be doing videos for it. There will probably be a new trailer in the next couple of weeks. There is a new round of the Flash Ring giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a DC-related comment on the video. Congratulations to the winner from the last video, Jack Woolridge. Please private message me so I can get your contact details. Click here for my Thor Ragnarok post-credits video, and you can click here to learn all about Roy Harper on Titans Season 1. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.